در این قسمت از برنامه ما یک ویدیوی ضبط شده در واقع پیامی رو داریم از پروفسور جاوید رحمان. آقای جاوید رحمان همینطور که دوستان اطلاع دارند سالها گزارشگر ویژه سازمان ملل متحد بود در امور حقوق بشر ایران. او اکنون و البته پیش از حتی گزارشگریش استاد حقوق اسلامی و فقه در دانشگاه برونل لندن بوده، همچنین وکیل مدافع حقوق بشر بوده. از شما دعوت میکنم که با من همراه بشید و پیام آقای جاوید رحمان رو با هم دیگه بشنویم.
Dear colleagues, I begin by thanking Iran Human Rights and Professor Mahmoud Amir Muqaddam for their important campaigns towards the abolition of the death penalty in Iran. This is a very significant day for this campaign, World Day Against the Death Penalty on 10th of October 2024. I speak to you as a professor of Islamic law, Muslim constitutionalism and human rights at Brunel University, London, as well as a human rights lawyer. Throughout my professional career, I have defended the rights of the victims who have faced arbitrary and unlawful imposition of the death penalty. While my brief comments would focus on the situation in Iran, I remain deeply concerned at all those states that continue to implement the death penalty. Capital punishment is used as a weapon to terrorize an entire population of a country by sending people to gallows. Death penalty is weaponized and instrumentalized against people who are vulnerable and weak, typically from marginalized communities, and whose executions result in very little political cost. I have also argued on numerous occasions that the imposition of the death penalty neither serves justice nor does it make societies safer. Furthermore, I have argued that the death penalty in modern states, and in particular the manner of its imposition in modern states, is contrary to the dictates of religious values and Islamic jurisprudence. My fundamental position is fully aligned to that of the Human Rights Committee in its general comment number 36, where the committee notes that, and I quote here, the death penalty cannot be reconciled with full respect for the right to life, and the abolition of the death penalty is both desirable and necessary for the enhancement of human dignity and progressive development of human rights. End of quotation. The Human Rights Committee monitors the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, an international treaty whose provisions are now legally binding for an overwhelming majority of states. There are currently 174 states parties to the Covenant. Article 6 of the Covenant restricts the use of the death penalty to the most serious offenses described by the Human Rights Committee as being restricted to intentional killing. Therefore, as the committee has noted, and I quote the committee, that crimes not resulting directly and intentionally in death, such as attempted murder, corruption, and other economic and political crimes, armed robbery, piracy, abduction, drug and sexual offenses, although serious in nature, can never serve as the basis within the framework of Article 6 for the imposition of the death penalty. End of quotation. It is thus extremely shocking to note that there are currently over 80 offenses in Iranian law which allow the application of the death penalty, and several of these so-called offenses cannot be categorized as offenses, let alone the most serious offenses as stated in Article 6 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. I am alarmed at the extremely high number of executions for drug-related offenses in Iran, resulting in completely arbitrary deprivation of life. Arbitrary deprivation of life also takes place by violations of the right to fair trial and due process rights, including through the heavy reliance of the judiciary on forced confessions extracted through torture, denial of access to a lawyer, or denial of a lawyer of one's own choosing, the low standard of evidence used by courts in death penalty cases, as well as the discriminatory and disproportionate nature of executions of the ethnic minorities. I end by applauding and appreciating the group of brave and courageous political prisoners in Ghazl-e Hisar prison in Karaj, who in January 2024 staged a protest which transformed into a weekly hunger strike known as Black Tuesdays and No to Death Penalty Tuesdays. These mass hunger strikes have now spread to 21 prisons across Iran. We must all work tirelessly to have the scourge of the death penalty abolished in Iran and indeed in all countries of the world. I thank you very much. Thank you.